VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. President Trump's national security advisor John Bolton said Sunday that U.S. withdrawal of its 2,000 troops in Syria will not be abrupt and will also be conditioned on Turkish assurances that it will not target Kurdish fighters allied with American forces. Bolton spoke during a visit to Israel for talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He said there's no timetable for the troop withdrawal, but he also said the U.S. presence in Syria is not unlimited. President Trump said on Twitter Sunday that the U.S. has killed one of the alleged masterminds of the USS Cole suicide bombing. 17 sailors were killed when the Cole was attacked in 2000 in Yemen. 39 were wounded. Mr. Trump says American forces killed Jamal al-Badawi, and he said U.S. efforts against al-Qaeda will continue. Last week, U.S. military officials said a precision U.S. airstrike in Yemen on Tuesday targeted al-Badawi, one of 6 al-Qaeda operatives convicted of the bombing. Al-Badawi was on the FBI's most wanted terrorist list. At least 30 people have been killed in an apparent mine collapse in northern Afghanistan on Sunday. Villagers in Kohistan district of Badakhshan province had dug into a riverbed mining for gold when the walls around them collapsed. Afghanistan's northern Badakhshan province is mountainous and is prone to landslides. Riot police fired tear gas at thousands of protesters in Sudan's capital Khartoum on Sunday as demonstrators calling for President Omar al-Bashir to step down continued their actions for the third week. The crowds of protesters gathered, heeding a call from the Sudanese Professionals Association. This is VOA News. The World Food Program is calling for a biometric-based registration system in Yemen to prevent the theft of food meant for hungry people. Correspondent Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
The United Nations warns about 14 million people in Yemen are on the brink of famine. The World Food Program provides food assistance to 3 million people a month in Yemen. The agency's monitoring system found that a local partner organization that distributes much of this aid was involved in misappropriating some of the food. WFP does not accuse the local organization itself of being corrupt, but it says individuals within the organization found to be involved in this illicit practice must be sacked.
Officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo say they're delaying the announcement of the results of the country's presidential election last weekend until sometime later this week. The commission held a meeting Sunday about the delay. The head of the commission said it's not possible to publish the results. We're making progress, but we do not have everything yet. The decision fueled suspicions that the president's ruling party is maneuvering to cling to power. Polish officials have shut down 13 escape room entertainment sites because of safety flaws. Their decision came after 5 teen girls who were locked inside a room celebrating a birthday last week died in a fire at a private house that had no emergency evacuation route. President Trump showed no signs Sunday of backing down on his demand for taxpayer funding for a wall along the southern border with Mexico. He spoke to reporters outside the White House before heading to a retreat for discussions with administration officials about border security.
I'm totally involved, but I'm involved with principle, because ultimately it's going to be solved by the principle. Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and myself can solve this in 20 minutes if they want to. If they don't want to, it's going to go on for a long time.
The president's fighting with opposition Democrats over his demand for more than $5 billion in funding for the wall. The stalemate has shut down about a quarter of U.S. government operations for 16 days in one of the longest closures in American history. It's forced the closure of museums in Washington, D.C. Trash is going uncollected at understaffed national parks. About 800,000 federal government workers have been furloughed or are continuing to work without the guarantee that they will be paid. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Christopher Cruz. VOA News.